Hey folks, welcome to the Do-It-Yourself Dad channel. Today we're checking out a new camera here by Eufy. Now Eufy is actually done by Anchor, which is a company that's been around for a while, and right now they're putting out this one. This one's just hitting the market, and this is kind of a direct competitor to the Wyze Cam Pan. Similar price range, but it's got some new, better features. It's got 2K resolution. It's got a little bit more in the way of security features, and it's got AI on board. So that was kind of an issue with some of the other cameras where it would get false alarms. This thing, supposedly, you can set it up so it just detects and alerts you when people or pets go by. So we're gonna play around with this camera today. I'm gonna have this one in another video coming up. I'm excited about this one. This one is kind of their competitor to the Arlo cameras. It's wireless, has these little guys, and it claims a year battery life. So let's get this one out of the way, because today we're gonna be playing around with this one. If you're interested in that other one, hit that subscribe button, because we're gonna have that one coming up soon. But let's crack this thing open. Another neat feature with this one, it sets up real similar to most of the other cameras, so I won't go through a full setup on this, but it does work with Apple Homekit, which is a pretty neat little feature that a lot of the other cameras don't have. So I'm not big into unboxing videos, so let's get this sucker out of the box. So to show you what all it comes with, it's got the little camera here, neat little camera, nice design. It's got these little pads on the bottom so it won't scoot around while it's panning, and it takes power over USB. Comes with your USB cable, a little wall wart here to get juice to it, a mounting plate, and this is if you want to mount it to a wall, or you can actually mount it to a ceiling upside down like that, and your mounting hardware. Now with that, let's get into the setup of the camera, and I'm just gonna blow through it real quick because these are all real similar. You're gonna do it through an app on your cell phone. You get the app loaded up here. We've already signed up for an account, and then we're gonna come in here and click Add Device, and we're gonna select our camera right down there, and on screen it tells me to plug the device in and wait until the LED turns a solid blue. There we go. So she looks like she's a solid blue now, so we'll jump back into the app here. And it's going to want to scan the QR code on the bottom. And we're going to hold the setup button on the back for 2 seconds until we hear a beep. We are going to now connect it to our home network.
Connecting to the Wi-Fi network. Please wait. Setup was successful.
Now I had mentioned before that I wasn't planning on doing a full setup of this thing, and I'm still not going to, but I want to kind of walk you through the app real quick and show you what this thing's got, because it's got a lot of really cool features. Something as simple as setting up the rotation speed if you don't want real herky-jerky rotations. You can set up activity zones and what kind of detection settings you want. You can have it alert you to person or pets, and maybe not alert you to other motion if it's just tree branches. You can use it as a baby monitor, and it'll actually set you an alarm if the baby starts crying. It picks up the sound in the room, which is pretty neat. You can also do pet commands. If your pet jumps up on the couch and you don't want it to when you're not home, it'll actually yell at your dog or cat to get off the couch. You can set up continuous recording, and it can handle an SD card up to 128 gig, which is 2 to 3 times the size of other ones. And you can set recordings up to 2K, which is double what most of the other cameras are. You can set your speaker volumes. You can actually talk through the camera towards whoever's in the house or outside. And here you can set up your notification settings so you don't get all those false triggers for things you don't care about. Here's kind of one of the really cool features. You can have it record onboard to SD cards, to cloud storage, or if you've got a network drive at home like a NAS, you can have it record straight to that and have all your stuff kept in your house, not going out onto a server. And here's the biggie. You can actually set up Apple HomeKit with this thing and run this device through Apple HomeKit. So we started up just by playing around with these in the house as they are intended. And right now you can see I have that panning thing going on, and I have the watermark up at the top and the date stamp. And both of those features you can turn off. You'll see that in the next shot, I turned off the watermark, and I also turned off that panning motion. Now you can check out these cameras in the link below. I have a place where you can pick them up. They've got them, I think, on Amazon right now too, so you might be able to check them out there. But right here you're gonna see it in low light. The IR illuminators are gonna kick on right about now. There they go. And it gives you a good idea what these things look like in the dark with no other lights in the room. But all of our other cameras, we've been kind of torture testing them outside, so we had to bring this whole thing outside too so we could get a fair comparison. Now, if you've been around the channel, you've seen the Wyze cameras, and I'm a big fan of those Wyze cameras. I've got them all over the place, and this camera is actually a direct competitor to really the Wyze and the Wyze 360. Now, you can see I've gotten these other cameras sent to me by manufacturers, this one, and these ones I really didn't like. I thought they were junk, so you didn't even see them on the channel. Now, here, we stuck this thing outside, and we live in the California desert. The day I stuck it outside, it was around 108 degrees in the front yard, and this thing was getting blasted by the sun. And the reason we did that was we always get questions about, can you put them outside and can they put up with the heat? So we wanted to bake the thing for a day. This is the actual footage that it took while it was outside baking in the sun. And then we decided that wasn't good enough. We had to stick it in the freezer too. So we stuck this thing in the freezer, we let it freeze away, and it worked just fine, even being stuck in the freezer, being brought way below the temperatures that it was supposed to be able to operate at. Now, we had mentioned before those detection settings, and here, this is just the footage that it collected of a person walking by. This happened to be me going out to do some stuff on my truck, but I didn't set this shot up at all. I just kind of left it out and let it run. Now, in the course of this, we also had the wind blow branches around, we had pets go by, cars go down the street, and I didn't get a single false alarm the entire time the camera was outside. Now, even though this camera is really meant to be an indoor camera, there's no reason you couldn't stick it in a window pointing outside, or you frankly could probably put it outside underneath an awning or an eave, and the camera would be just fine. Now, this camera does boast night vision capabilities and IR transmitters, so we did use it inside and it did work really well, but I wanted to see what it would do outside because you've got a little bit more range and a little bit more distance. Now, this shot is of my front yard, and then we put it in the backyard. The front yard does have some more illumination. The backyard is almost pitch black, so we wanted to see how well it would perform in the backyard. So this is it illuminating only with those front-facing IR lights. So they're invisible except only to the camera. And then to give you a little bit of perspective, I took a little shot with my iPhone and to get an idea of how dark it is. So you can see how extremely dark the backyard is, and that the thing was just illuminating with those IR transmitters. And it does a really good job. Now, something else I noticed, and this isn't something that I think people really worry about a lot with cameras, but we probably should, is how loud the drive motors are. I know on my Wyze 360, it's very loud. You can hear that thing going around if it's in the house. And then that other one that I showed that I had in the garage on my workbench, that thing was so noisy that my daughter used to unplug it when she was practicing her dance out there. It would drive her nuts. Now this thing, and I got a little microphone here, and I'll show you it's on. I'll scratch the mic so you can see. It is working. I'm going to put the mic right there next to it, and then over here I've got my phone. I'm going to control this thing back and forth. That's how much noise this thing makes. I got the mic right up to it, and my head is probably 2 feet, 3 feet back, and it's barely audible. So if you're using this thing as any sort of a security camera in your house, especially when you're not there, having it not audible so people can't hear it is a big plus. And the other thing, this little LED light, in case you're worried about people seeing that, there is a feature you can turn that off. Now, while I'm in my office here, I want to show you another thing that just showed up. We just got a little robot vacuum here, and this is going to be on an upcoming show on the YouTube channel, but I'm going to do something kind of neat with it because you know, we can't just leave things well enough. I'm going to take the camera, and I've got a battery bank on it right now, but I'm going to take the camera, I'm going to mount the camera on the top of the vacuum because this vacuum will roam the house, and I'm going to make kind of a roving security drone robot thing. So be sure to hit subscribe if you want to check that out. But if this video did help you out at all, I really do like this camera a lot. I'm going to figure out a way to mount this thing in the backyard and then replace my Wyze 360 with it. But if you do like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got links for all this stuff down in the description if you want to check them out yourself. And leave me a comment, let me know what kind of stuff you're doing around the house tech-wise, if this helps you out, or if there's another video you'd like to see. And of course, thanks for watching.